morning, everybody. I really hope you're doing well. On this occasion, however, I'm not crying because the place is so beautiful, because it actually is. It's not that sparks out the emotion in me. Unfortunately, hay fever has arrived in abundance, and for some strange reason, so far, it has brought out tears and bloodshot eyes, which is never a good look. So I do apologise forthwith. If I start, looks like I'm crying, it's not because I'm going for an emo phase at the moment. I've just generally got really bad hay fever. However, that being said, I am in a truly beautiful place. I'm in Elmley Nature Reserve today, which to my sadness, well actually, again, not bringing out the tears, to my utmost shame actually, I've never been here before. We're on the Isle of Sheppey, a place, not only have I got family on the Isle of Sheppey, but it's a place that I'm very familiar with because I'm a Kent lad, but not familiar enough that I've been here before. Now it's kind of weird because coming down here, it almost feels like I should know this place because of what we're going to explore today. I won't say too much, just enjoy your history lesson, and that's pretty much going to be the bulk of what we're going to do. The rest we're just going to have a jolly nice walk and explore. Come with me, I think you're going to really love this one. Come on. In today's video, we take a look at one of Kent's forgotten villages, that of Elmley. Located on the south side of the Isle of Sheppey, not much is left of this long-lost village. Elmley can be traced back to medieval times, as the church, namely St James's Church, had stood here from roughly 1247. But fast forward in time and it would be in 1841 when the population of Elmley was recorded as just 42, being made up of the main Kings Hill farm and numerous small labourers' cottages dotted around the marshes. However, by 1851 it shot up to 131 people. This was as a result of a short-lived brick-making factory that started alongside the Swale. It was in 1860 when the brickworks had ceased to be, being taken over by a cement manufacturing factory on the same site called the Turkey Cement Works. At the height of this industrial site, a small village had over time spawned up around it, with numerous cottages and some houses, as well as a pub cum grocers called the Globe, and a small dock. But it would be by 1891 that Elmley would see its highest population total at 219 people, and it would be partially due to this that a few years later a school would be built to accommodate the children being grown up and born around in this rural community. School would be built in the grounds of the church, and from old photos it looked to be a beautiful building. One can even imagine though that during the colder months quite a bleak place to be, being exposed to the elements. The village's demise came due to its sole reliance on the cement works, so it's no surprise that when it closed in 1902, its population of 219 would fall drastically to 50 people, and eventually to just 8 in 1961. And with this, the church and school would become derelict, with the church especially being demolished in the 1960s, having recorded 160 burials at the church during its lifespan. Now all that remains are the ruins of the school and the farmsteads, which are now Grade 2 listed, as well as some remnants of the cement works, almost all reclaimed by nature. The site has now become a nature reserve where wildlife has truly thrived, which is amazing to see, and now hopefully with a video like this, the long lost industrial village of Elmley will never be forgotten. Back everybody, I hope you really enjoyed that beautiful history lesson. We're here at really the hub of what I wanted to show you, namely that of the old schoolhouse of Elmley. Now obviously I'm not going to go in, and I would be disappointed to see if people had gone in, because on this occasion not only are we in a nature reserve, which you have to show absolute respect for, but there is a lot of nature that is in that and around it. And I know that obviously we debate sometimes in the places that we do explore that it's sometimes difficult not to experience nature, but I think in this case we've got to respect it in its utmostness, especially because we're in a nature reserve. You know, I would like to say this before we start, however, properly talking. If you are in Kent and you are, or you can access getting to the Isle of Sheppey for whatever reason, and you want just an escape from life, this is without doubt one of the prettiest places in Kent, I think, actually. And it's a surprise to me because actually it's also very quiet. I mean, apart from like on the opposite side of the road, opposite side of the river, opposite side of the river, you've got obviously the industrial section of sort of like Sittingbourne, sort of Iwade sort of side. Where we are, it's really quiet. And obviously if we look in the distance, you've got Sheppey itself, and obviously Queenborough to the left, Minster on the right, etc, etc. You know, people of Sheerness and Kent probably quite familiar with that. But look at this. So obviously it does say danger, unsafe building. So this is the old schoolhouse. Yes. Okay, see what I mean? I think that's a pheasant in there. So obviously in the old photos we noticed that the school was there, and then the church is no more, but it would have been directly there as well. And then there are reminders of some former brick buildings. And it is just the best here. So spectacular. I mean, the fact that most of that as a ruin still survives, it, you know, like I said, it doesn't take an eye of faith to picture that there's a chimney stack obviously there at the back, but also at the front you've got a fire as well, fireplace that hopefully you can obviously see for yourselves. Got the windows of the school, we got the sort of arch for the roof which would have gone along as well. And like we said, if we looked at the old photos, our church was directly behind it. And the fact that that's completely disappeared from view is absolutely remarkable in itself, how these things can slowly disappear. Obviously, as you're aware, this is sort of like on the birth of summertime, so stinging nettles are out in full abundance. And it's probably another reason why it's a great way to deter you not to do this. And I would be, like I said, on this occasion, I would be very disappointed if I saw people actually enter this place. Absolutely beautiful. And there's the swale down there at the bottom. So, another thing I wanted to show you today, if I can find it, I'm going to film this. I'm just going to keep filming it so that obviously I try and find all my pockets in this one. I'm going to show you this. So when you come here, as I'm recording this, unless you've got a membership, it is £8 for adults, which actually I find quite reasonable considering you can go multiple long walks around here. So actually you are getting your money's worth, and there's toilets here, and there's also camping. By the way, Elmley Nature Reserve aren't paying me for this. I genuinely think this is one of the coolest places, and a genuine surprise that in my many years of existence, not saying how old I am just yet, that I've never come to this place. So there we go. This is, so you get this, sorry, this is our little map, Elmley Nature Reserve. And if I open it up for all of you, one-handed, I apologise. So we entered at the top there, so obviously there's our Sheppey crossing, if my camera would like to focus, and if I could stop shaking as well. That's just because obviously some of you know I have anxiety and I shake. Entrance gate, visitor parking facility. So we parked right at King's, oh come on, focus please, there we go, Kings Hill Farm. And then we've walked across to the old schoolhouse, which is where we are now. Obviously looking at it, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So old schoolhouse. I'm sorry if this isn't focusing too well. Come on. Yeah, there we go. And then we're going to go down to the old brickworks and the village. And then down there, in this little section here, if I can try and get my thumb of doom. Whoa, easy now. So the village itself, or the community, would have been where my thumb is. And the old brickworks is just beyond it, which, like I said, we're just going to follow this path, go down to the old brickworks. And that's pretty much it. There are a couple of cottages, however, that are Rose Cottage. Sorry for the lack of focus. And we've got Cod's House. Now, you can't walk to them, but you can see them from the... You can see Rose Cottage, at least, from the as you drive down. And Cod's House, we're not going to go that way. Obviously, we're just doing this today, just a tiny little thing. Really, hopefully it helped, by the way. Really, this is just to sort of encourage you to come out and explore. And even though, like I said, my allergies are on fire today, spectacular. And sometimes you don't have to go into a building to justify its history. I swear that was a kite that's just literally come off of that chimney and walked down. I wish I'd filmed that. It's literally behind there now. I mean, there's so much nature. I mean, it's a nature reserve. I mean, that's a given, isn't it? But wow. Hopefully, like I said, you enjoyed that history lesson of this lost community, really. I called it community because it would have been. It would have been a communal hub. You can tell all the stories, all the things that would have happened, the religious connotations with the former church that was here. I mean, does it get any better than this today? I mean, I'm sorry you're not with me, so it's difficult. Obviously, I'm going to say, well, it's really cool because I'm here and you're not. But I'm just trying to hopefully this video gives you a really good, not only a really important history lesson to a lost community, village, whatever we want to call it for the moment, but, you know, does it get any better than this? Nature and history all in one go. And even though I've probably done so many things that are similar to this, you know, I'm going to I think there's a little bit of a trail here. Yeah, it's still, the stinging nettles are pretty bad actually. So although there is a trail and I'm wearing trousers. But, incredible. Absolutely incredible. That's the pheasant that I've been seeing. Can you hear him? Come on, you. I can hear you, I know. So that noise you can hear is the pheasant. I think there's a female one in there as well. In the actual old school itself. Bless him. Can I get around this side just to have a quick nosy? Yeah, let's take a look from this side. Wow. Isn't that cool? And that, everybody, is as close as we can get today. Oh no, right, no, I can go. There we go. I can get a little bit closer. What am I talking about? There you go. Now that is very cool. God, can you imagine? I'm amazed at how exposed we are that still stands. Weather and time has still not finished it off just yet. That's probably why I'm filming it as well. Just hopefully we'll document it. Amazing. And then, like I said, to think the church was in all the section as well. It's crazy. What a beautiful day as well. Oh, there we go. It's the pheasants. Oh dear, brilliant. Alright, let's head out. So we're now going to be heading down to the old brickworks and actually where the village itself was. Obviously there's nothing really that remains of it, but if we're going to talk about the village, we're going to talk about its lost community, we've got to go and visit at least where it was, even if there isn't anything there. But I'm amazed. You know what, Sheerness, the Isle of Sheppey, takes on a whole different outlook when you're at this place, Elmley. Really does. It's really does just sort of, well, hit you for six in a strange way, that it's, yeah, just not what you're expecting. And so obviously we're walking across the footpath now. In the bottom corner there probably would have been, I don't know, because it doesn't turn, does it? So we're pretty much heading towards the village now. Like I said, the old brickworks, but you wouldn't know. But can you imagine the walk they'd be doing if I turn round up to school, which is sort of in that tree line on the left just there, and then the church would have stood out. Imagine the sound of the bells when it was ringing. Brilliant. I mean, it's quiet as it is now. Really, it probably would have been just as quiet back then to a certain degree. You might have heard the noise of the brickworks and stuff, but yeah, I can't imagine it being, must have been quite, for them it was probably quite normal, you know, the fact of the sort of semi-silence, should we just sort of say. But for me, and probably for you if you do visit, which again I keep saying you've got to come down here if you can, quite eerie but in a very beautiful way. Let's keep going. Got that beautiful structure. I mean, there's loads of concrete and remains here of, you know, buildings long forgotten, but the village itself, everybody, excuse if there's going to be a bit of wind, finger of doom, the village is pretty much here, because you've got the marshy bogland which is sort of there, and you've got the village itself which is just in front of us. And again, there are a few like remains of like some bricks and stuff you can, if you're there, but obviously we can't access that. Or not that we can't access it, it's probably just not the, yeah, we don't need to. I think is really the question in this, because actually a lot of stuff sort of tells us that when it's in a ruinous condition like this. Oh wow, look at that pottery. Oh, hello. There you go. Isn't that incredible? Pottery, just found a brick here with the insignia NC, or no, what is it, VC, sorry, looks different from when you're above. There you go. All these like wooden rivets, amazing. There's an old ship, a couple of ships there, docking points. We'll go down and have a look. This is the sort of place that keeps on giving, really. Look at that. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Little harbour here that That's cool, isn't it? Yeah, and then like I said, the village is technically just above us over there in that grassy field there. Lovely. This is so cool. Really is. Strange actually coming here, because you sort of like you just feel like you're in a different world, because like I said, you know, I've never been here before, and I'm sure some of you have, but you know, it's a part of Kent that, well, you know, you'd only come here for a purpose. You wouldn't come here on a whim, you know. Oh, ducks. Look at that. The old back end of the old Milton industrial estates and that lot, isn't it, I think? Look at this. It's an explore where, in essence, although nothing is here, there is everything here if you love your history, because it's just, you know, look at that. It's marble. It feels like marble. Ooh, fancy. That's really cool. It's just, sometimes, even though there's not much here, I've said this before, what remains is just enough to give you a beautiful idea of what this story about this village tells us. And it's because of that, it's why I do this channel. Because even though the nature reserve is here, hopefully with that tiny bit of history lesson that we had, it hopefully just paints enough of a picture so that when you do look out on places like this, knowing there was a brickworks, knowing there was a school, knowing there was a church, knowing there was the village, hopefully it just gives you something a little bit different. Don't you think? Well, I think we've come to the end anyway of our wonderful little journey. Any more words of Phoenix history? Thank you so much for coming along with me. Now I know before anybody starts, we have missed out on a few little under the ground sort of ruined sort of stuff and everything else, but really I kind of want you to come here, check it out for yourselves, and if not, hopefully this provides us a beautiful form of documentation for all of you. So as I stand here by the swale, more words of Phoenix history, because history matters. Let's just say it does today. Yeah, should we just say I think it does, doesn't it? Take care, everybody. Feel free to spread the word of the channel. If I've said this before, even though I don't allow comments at the moment, obviously because of my mental health, as I've said before, feel free to spread the word of the channel. Feel free to like it. It really goes a long way in encouraging me to sort of keep doing this. I know I'm not the biggest of YouTube channels out there, but I'm a little fighter, you know, the underdog. Take care. Ready? Indeed you are. Because history matters. Kapow.